BlizzCon 2026 confirmed. We were just getting into this information. I think it actually reveals a lot about the timeline. I mean, I was pulling this up. We got a lot to get into here because that would basically put us out exactly 1 year from the expansion reveal of Midnight. So we're clearly going to get the reveal of the Last Titan. It's going to be the finish up and the wrap up of the World Soul Saga. Could we get any more information from beyond that too? What's going to happen after the World Soul Saga? It could be a very big BlizzCon. Let's see what Marcellian and team have to say about this.
Breaking news, everyone. BlizzCon is back. Officially announced it's coming in 2026, but what does it mean for the future of WoW? I'm excited. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited, man, because WoW has been doing better and better, and now we're just getting a big announcement with BlizzCon 2026 while on the cusp of the World Soul Saga.
I mean,
yeah,
they've been so quiet about so many things. I think it's finally
suspiciously
time.
quiet.
Yeah, suspiciously.
By the way, the fact that BlizzCon was announced as well, I feel like puts us on track here. Like, that means we are really on track and on pace to get all of these patches perfectly timed. I believe 11.1.5, April 22nd, it's going to hit that week, so we'll see. But so far, to me, if they're confident enough to announce BlizzCon, that means they are really on track with all these patches.
Quite, it's a lot of stuff. So let's just get into it and let's talk about why does this matter first of all, because like BlizzCon, for the longest time, we all know it was the place for like the biggest, craziest announcements in the history of the Blizzard franchises. Focusing on a moment, BlizzCon was the place where they first announced the Warcraft movie. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like everybody lost
yeah.
their marbles on that.
Oh, yeah.
They announced the World Soul Saga. That was like who would have thought they would announce 3 expansions?
Yeah, that was like super controversial. That was the last time we had it.
It was a hype BlizzCon, the return of Chris Metzen and everything too. I mean, it was an exciting time.
That was some time ago.
Yeah. It's basically at this point 2 years. It's gonna be 3 years in 2026. So I think they're gonna have a lot of stuff going over it. Now, let's speculate a bit. What can they? Because we know that the expansions by the time this happens. So in 2026 in September 12 and 13, I believe. Yes, 12 and 13. Yeah. By that time, we will be knee deep in Midnight.
Yeah,
right?
probably halfway through Midnight. So obviously the biggest elephant in the room would be that they're gonna be announcing Last Titan. I mean,
for sure.
Where would they announce Last Titan if it wouldn't be there?
Yeah, I think so. The sentiment I feel will be that, man. But we already know what this expansion is. Like, what can?
Yeah,
they
we do know. We do know we're going to Northrend. Last Titan. Okay, we don't really know who the Last Titan is. That's still a big speculation out there. What's Iridikron up to? What's Xal'atath up to at that time? Why are the Titans coming back? What the hell is the ice cracking for? And all that stuff for that cinematic. All that stuff will be very interesting to get answers to. But honestly, for me, the thing I kind of want to know is what the hell is happening after the World Soul Saga. It's a big deal. We and Blizzard talked about how they got inspiration from Marvel when it came to talking about kind of they had the Infinity Stone saga, right? What happened after that for Marvel? They kind of fell off, right? So what's going to happen after the World Soul Saga? After we deal with the biggest threats, the Titans and everything else, what the hell is on the horizon after that? I wonder if they're going to hint at any of that in this in that BlizzCon.
Hype us about. But what we don't know is what are the features of that expansion? How will the teaser look like? The cinematic?
Oh yeah,
we will get a cinematic for sure.
The thing is, we just know the name of the expansion, and we can only speculate because it's the Last Titan. Oh, Azeroth team, Pantheon team, whatever. But even with Midnight, we kind of assume that we're gonna get Xal'atath until we actually see what's going to happen. Yeah. Which I think in this summer we're gonna have the reveal of Midnight.
Yeah. Probably at Gamescom.
So after this summer, most likely we will know exactly what might we expect at BlizzCon for the Last Titan, because I don't know if Last Titan is gonna bring a new feature like player housing is for Midnight, where they've announced it essentially like half a year before. So whatever Last Titan brings, it will probably be announced there.
I can almost guarantee you they're gonna bring back some form of borrowed power, done right this time, because
borrowed power.
Ian kind of hinted, sort of in the past, that man, it ain't like 100% gone away, but if it ever gonna bring back the borrowed power, well, when we talk about borrowed power, legendary weapons, the artifact weapons, the Azerite traits, which were not like super good, but they want to do it right. So for sure.
Here's the thing: if they're gonna do borrowed power, to me, and they might have to, because if we're talking about fighting the Pantheon, talking about fighting against Titans and stuff, we're going to have to be the most powerful we've ever been. And I'll be honest, I feel like we've never hit the power that we had during Legion, when we had Legion legendaries and everything else. To me, canon in my head is like, that's the strongest we ever were. I just feel like we had the most legendary and epic weapons to ever exist on the planet of Azeroth. We had hyped them up with a ton of Azerite power, and we were just pumping and dumping everywhere. Now, maybe with corruption gear and stuff like that, we had kind of reached that point as well. You could probably, in the lore, tell yourself that. But in terms of like how powerful we were, that was the strongest I ever remember us being or feeling in the game. Now, if they want to bring back Legion legendaries for this Last Titan expansion, I think that would be kind of cool. But to me, okay, borrowed power happens. What happens after? You don't want to go back to feeling like a fucking marshmallow. That's a bad thing about player power. Now, if they want to do a WoW 2 soft reset, now I'm not talking about relaunching the game as World of Warcraft 2, but if after the World Soul Saga, they want to do like a soft reset to the game, right? Go back to the basics. Almost like a WoW Classic reset, take you back to the days of Elwyn Force and everything. Maybe the entirety of the world has been kind of revamped in some way at some point at that time. That would be fine to me. That would be fine. Like, okay, we did the World Soul Saga. We were extremely powerful. We defeated the Titans, and now it's a return to the the good old days of sitting in your home in Elwyn Forest and dealing with localized threats and things like that. I'd be okay with that. Little soft reset to the game, a little bit of a kind of return to the basics. To me, that would be the way to do borrowed power and not make it feel horrible at that point.
People
Blow
have
up
been
the world,
asking
kill
for
off the comic
borrow power,
book. Yeah.
or essentially a grinding system, which I think now that kind of transformed into the upgrade system for weapons, where once you get the weapon, you can still grind power and put it into weapon by essentially upgrading its level, and that kind of is getting a little bit boring and bland. So people kind of want, like, I don't know if they want a gimmick or a theme, or to feel like whatever they do, it constantly goes towards a goal of increasing, and it would make sense if we're gonna raise the stakes to fighting the Pantheon.
It might happen. It would be the perfect context, right? So we're gonna have a lot of like crazy stuff being announced, I'm sure, for the Last Titan. But
I'm trying to think of how they would even bring back Legion legendaries. I mean, to me, maybe Sargeras comes back, pulls the tip out, just the tip. He pulls the tip out of the sword, and he's like, "You idiots, wasted your artifact power on my shit. Here, take your powers back. We got to defeat the Titans." And he's got his sword. He gives us our artifact weapons powers back, because that's what we did at the end of the expansion. We essentially drained our artifact weapons into Sargeras' sword. So maybe he gives us our powers back, and then we continue to build up from there. That could be the way they play it out. He's gonna come back. Sargeras and Illidan coming back for sure.
Something else. Maybe a Warcraft game, a different game genre for Warcraft. Maybe.
I mean, we know 100% they're working on other Warcraft IPs.
There's a lot of stuff happening within the Warcraft universe.
And they've been saying that. I mean, we've been speculating ever since we heard that Metzen is coming on board and being in charge of the Warcraft franchise, not just WoW.
If you remember, in this interview, Metzen said, we got things coming, perhaps some that you are not prepared for. You guys remember when he dropped that line? That was confirmation, right? Jesus Christ. Fucking blurb. That scared the shit out of me. Basically telling us, I don't think he was talking about Legion Remix, okay? I don't think that's what he was hyping us up for. I think he was talking about Illidan returning in the main storyline. And if Illidan returns, Sargeras is coming back with him. Now, somebody said I would like him to be the good guy. I can't imagine Sargeras being a good guy, but he's going to be on our team. We're on the same side when it comes to defeating the Titans. Now, what happens after that? I don't know. He anti-hero role, something like that. Who knows what kind of role he plays? Good guy. This guy's destroyed entire planets, all right? They're talking about probably billions of people have died at the hands of Sargeras. So I don't know if he can ever be a good guy. But he could certainly maybe come around to seeing our side of things just a little bit.
And we talked about other Warcraft projects. Who was it? At the time, John Hyde was talking about?
He was like the big boss, yeah. They said they wanted to expand this IP to like each and every other media
dead
possible.
Silence since then, right? So
nothing. Well, Holly mentioned that nothing to announce yet. Nothing to announce yet. But
nothing to announce, but nothing
brewing.
Not to announce, right? It's not. She didn't say, "Oh, it's over. We're just going a different way." They didn't say that. So usually when you make like a new game, depending on the scope of the game, that takes a bunch of years, especially if you want to do it right. So it would kind of align. When was this, like 2 years ago? And with one more year, it'd be like 3 or 4 years. That's kind of industry standard when you're making a new game, unless it's an MMO. That takes like forever, apparently.
Yeah,
My
ask
hopes are
Riot.
either for a Warcraft 4, finally a fully fledged Warcraft 4. I know it's big copium, but I'm not saying it cannot happen.
You know what's interesting about that? A little bit of a side note on potential Warcraft strategies. There's this whole community on Warcraft WoW Classic, OnlyFans, with all of that, and now they're starting to go into a Warcraft tournament.
Yeah, I see with Grubby and all.
Yeah. And Blizzard sponsors that tournament with $10,000.
There you go.
This
Hint,
is
a wink, wink.
This is the Blizzard that stopped sponsoring StarCraft 2 tournaments like years ago. They've pulled the plug on Heroes of the Storm, especially competitive wise, and now they're like, I mean, this is pennies. But
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
they're associating themselves with competitive RTS. I mean, one can only hope that this might be like, oh, we're already working on Warcraft 4. Might as well just, bring a little bit of love in Warcraft. Not to mention that Warcraft is...
Like a Warcraft 4, I mean, it'd be fine. It's I guess it would tell that you can go more in depth in an RTS with the story, but it would pick up right after Wrath of the Lich King, right? I mean, that's where they're gonna go. So what are you gonna play? And you're gonna play Cataclysm in an RTS? Is that what's gonna happen? Because the Warcraft franchise, Warcrafts 1, 2, and 3, were telling the same story that we're currently playing through in World of Warcraft, but it had finished off at the Ice Crown Citadel and the Wrath of the Lich King and all that. That was the end of it. Now they continue on. Okay, well, we do Cataclysm. We're gonna do WoD in an RTS. I don't know how appealing that would be. Like I said, they can go more in depth with the story. But there still is a a market out there for some good RTS content, so maybe they end up doing it. I don't know.
Been getting patches.
It's not my thing.
in
It's been
the last
updated
couple of years.
constantly, yeah,
So I mean, the stars are aligned.
It
it's
could
there.
happen, but also I think like a new BlizzCon, like after a break of 3 years at that point, would be sort of like a full circle of redemption for Blizzard. I feel after all the years of turmoil and stuff,
Yeah.
finally getting rid of Bobby Kotick, getting bought by Microsoft, within the Xbox
Right.
gaming division.
Bobby Kotick is gone and Gallywix is gone, and the same coincidence? I don't think so. I don't. You remember when Thrall disappeared at the same time that Metzen disappeared, and now Thrall is back and Metzen's back? Just saying, some of these tunes are a caricature of the real life people that they're supposed to imitate. So,
Having Metzen back, and
Bobby was
probably
Gallywix,
him being
confirmed.
center stage, having some crazy good announcement for that BlizzCon, because they also kind of like framed it as, okay, guys, we're gonna focus on what matters the most to you. So no more Diablo Immortal announcements, things like that. And I'm hopeful for that as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking they really want to go all out crazy with this one, and there's a lot of stuff being packed all over the
I mean,
years.
the sheer fact that they're taking their sweet time in scheduling any type of BlizzCons,
And they announced it like now.
Yeah,
Like, we have so
such-
much ahead.
Yeah, we have a lot of time.
That is probably the biggest question. Is like, why did they announce it now? And what?
To me, it says they're very confident in our patch cadence right now. Like, looking at the timeline and everything, pull up the roadmap again, this means to me that they are, like, on point with all of this, that all of this is lining up to be perfectly timed. And when you look at the, BlizzCon announcement, BlizzCon was September, would they say 12th to the 14th or something like that? This line right here, this double line, end of summer, usually demarcates the, end of summer solstice. That would be like September 20th or 21st. That's what these double lines would mean. So you're talking about BlizzCon literally lining up exactly 1 year after expansion reveal of midnight. So, that's perfectly timed. That means they are literally lining us up, revealing the expansions 1 year apart. And remember, these expansions are not going to last 2 years. So like they said, we'd be pretty deep into midnight at that point, getting ready for the Last Titan and even getting ready for what's beyond the Last Titan. So to me, the confidence to reveal BlizzCon that far ahead of time says that, we're getting all these patches exactly how they've lined it up here.
Why does it need a year and a half? Do they need to build hype? Do they? Because so Blizzard and hype have a very, very interesting relationship, and they've had it over the years. They never build up hype unless they're like 100% sure it's gonna have a big payoff.
Yep.
There has never in the history of Blizzard, to my knowledge, maybe you know better, has been a hype build up of 1.5 years for an event that we didn't know anything about whatsoever.
It's true. But you know what's more important? The fact that we will be there this
Oh,
time
we
around,
got the best part. Holy shit.
for the very first time, we're gonna be there. We're gonna cover everything and update everybody
nice.
who is following us on the YouTube channel, on the Twitters, and all of that. And hey, if you're gonna come there, maybe we can meet up and chat it out and nerd it and geek it out about everything
For
that's
sure.
happening and has been happening. It's gonna be a crazy time, so we're already planning on what the hell we're gonna do over there. But we're curious, like, what do you want for this
to see,
BlizzCon? To be announced?
to this realm.
Nor D's. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge.
I mean, are you hoping for something World of Warcrafty, something Warcraft? Let us know in the comments. Like, we're legit hyped and curious on what you guys are hoping to see. Are you gonna be there? And if you're gonna be there, are you gonna come say hello to us? That's the main important part, right?
You're gonna see Marcellian over there. I'm gonna be hiding through the bushes.
No, come on, man. No, it's gonna be
It's gonna be good,
great.
man. Who knows? WoW 2.0, WoW Warcraft 4.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments down below because it's pretty.
Exactly.
That's to me. I mean, I'm hyped for it to see the Last Titan, but I'm honestly hyped to see, are they going to reveal what happens beyond the Last Titan? Like you said, WoW 2.0. There has to be something, because to build up what is essentially the biggest threat in the universe. We're talking about Titans, the ability to destroy entire planets. We're talking about Void Lords, Demancius, their ability to devour entire. But what happens after that? What happens when you deal with cosmic threats and there are none left? What are we gonna do? Just go back to our player housing and do some crafting? Oh my, the world of craft. That's it. That's what we got left. So I'm interested to see if they kind of hint at what's beyond the Last Titan.
Exactly. So yeah, it's shaping up to be a very, very great year. Like with the Midnight expansion being already released, it's gonna be in September. That's interesting. So 12 and 13 September 2026. Same place, Anaheim Convention Center. It's as opposed to other BlizzCons, it's way earlier because BlizzCon usually is in November, something like that. But
Power
once
of the
again,
Force.
we're excited. We hope you are excited. Let us know in the comments what you think, and catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, excited, for sure, excited. And like I said before, I think one of the most important things that we can gather from this is Blizzard is on time. They are on time and they are confident because they are developing far beyond this roadmap they got us, right? They are already far beyond. They are probably creating the next roadmap already. That's how how far ahead they are. Imagine what's going to happen. What are we getting next? Exactly 1 year away from the expansion reveal of the Midnight expansion. 1 year after that, I'm saying we are going to get the Last Titan reveal, and beyond that, we'll have to see. But great stuff from Marcellian there. I'll link that video in the chat.